Hi guys, this is part 6 on how to make a dreamboard theme, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to make a row of apps where you guys can edit them and add your own apps in there from your app list. So let's take a look how to make this. So first off, I added 3 new images into my images folder. I made an edit.png, which is just a blue badge. I also made a button.png, which is a red badge, as you can see, and an app icon indicator, which is something I just photoshopped, just tells me where the app is. And you cannot change the name of this. It has to be app icon indicator for it to work. The other ones, like button ed, you can name it whatever you want. So once you have made those, let's get inside to the current.plist. And surprisingly, we're not in the main view anymore. We have to jump out and we have to create a function folder, or functions. And that has to be a dictionary. Next, make a array called update. Make a dictionary inside of that. And you're going to create 3 folders. You're going to make an else. That has to be an array. You're going to make an if. That also has to be an array. And then, which is also an array. So it's inside of else. You want a string called stop editing. No spaces. Inside if, you want to type in get.vars, which is just short for variables. So get variable editing equals 1. Type exactly like that. Inside the then folder, you just want a string that says start editing with no spaces. So once we have that, let's jump out. So that's just pretty much our function folder. This just tells our theme what to do when we call that function. Next, we need a variable dictionary, I believe. Yes, it is. Variables dictionary. Inside variables, we're just going to create a string called editing, and we're just going to put 1 for there. So now let's take a look inside of our main view, because this is where the heavy chunks of our code is going to be. So, sorry about the delay, guys. I have to look at some reference real quick for my own theme. Alright. So let's create another dictionary. And, as usual, we need a frame, actions. Oh, that can't be a string, that has to be an array. View type, and image. View type is a button, image, root, images, and we're going to use button.png. Frame, what do we use for our last button? Alright, let's just copy that and just move over a few. So I'm going to use this and paste into our frame, and let's just move it over, how about 350, and the size of the button will be 50 by 50 pixels. And we're just going to write show app list. So that's our button. Next we need a editing button, which lets us edit it. And let me just copy that frame because I might need that later. Frame. Let's do 250. 0 by 250 by 50 by 50. Image. Oops. Edit.png. View type. Button. Oops, what are we missing here? Actions. So inside the actions, give me a sec here. We want a string called variable editing equals 1 space colon, then variable editing equals 0. So all that's saying is the first time you push on it, you're able to edit. When you push on it again, editing is equal to 0, so it disables editing. So it's like a toggle function, but it's an action kind of way, if that makes any sense. Oops, and we also need function update because we're calling the function. I think that's all we need so far. And next, this is main big thing, another dictionary. And bear with me here. Let's create our, well, let's just make the whole thing. So let's start with alpha. Our opacity will be at 0.0 on the load. All apps, this has to be a boolean. And this is off because we're choosing our apps. Next we want apps. This needs to be an array. And today, let's do 4. So let's create 4 strings. All caps, no icon, placeholder. And it just tells Dreamboard that there's no apps there, that we can edit and place our own in there. So let's just copy and paste to the other 3. Alright. Columns. 4 columns. Frame. Let's do 700 by 200 by 320 by 100. Our gap in the X direction, 80 pixels. Our gap in the Y will be 85 pixels. Icon height, (65 pixels), and icon width will also be 65 pixels. Our ID tag, app list, page gap. We only have one page, so that'll be 0. And page gap Y will also be 0. Rows, we only have one row. Scrolling enabled. This will be a boolean, and I want it off because we only have one row and we're not even scrolling anything. Our view type will be an app grid. And I think we're pretty much done. So let's take a look. Okay, so I think blue brings up the editing function, and red shows it. So let's do calendar here, let's do camera here, activator there, and app store there. And when you click on the home button, it'll just show your apps. So that's just basically it. We're not allowed to scroll. And I just opened my camera. And you can launch all of these apps you want. And if you want to edit, just click on the blue button again. That pops up, and you can put no icon up there if you want, and push home again, and it'll show your apps that you chose. So that's just pretty much it on how to make a simple 4x1 row of editable apps. And that's pretty much it.